Good afternoon, everyone. This is Bremster, and today I'm coming to you with a puzzle that has been deliberately designed to introduce a couple of new constraints. So, as you know, over on the Skunkworks, which is basically a Discord server where a whole bunch of setters get together and explore new ideas and set puzzles together, and we test things together and we work on packs together and all sorts of stuff. A bunch of people, I say we, I had nothing to do with this one. A bunch of setters have been playing around with new constraint ideas. And these are some of those constraints. Riffclown has done an introductory puzzle which demonstrates two of these constraints so that I could do an introductory video. So I'm not sure if it was designed for me to do a video or if it was designed so anyone could learn the constraint and he sent it to me to do a video. I think it was probably the latter. But this is to introduce two new constraint types. Now, if you're a setter and you're interested in getting involved with the Skunkworks, I highly recommend getting in touch with Riffclown. You could reach him via the Sudoku Solvers Discord, reach out to him on the Bremster discussion channel, or reach out to me and I will put you in touch with Riffclown. But if you're interested in playing around with some of the new ideas, being one of the testers, if you've got an idea that you want to share with us, if you want to be involved in the creation of any of the packs we do, please reach out. We're always looking for new creative juices. But onto this puzzle, which is called Dots and Neighbors. And this puzzle is to demonstrate two new constraints. So the first one is the neighbor sums constraints. And the neighbor sums constraint is reminiscent of arrow, and that's these circles. Now, I've never solved a puzzle with neighbor sums or with the sum dots constraints, although sum dots is fairly reminiscent of something different, or something else that we're all familiar with. But the neighbor sums are these circles, and what they mean is that the digits that are orthogonally adjacent to the circle will contain the sum of all of those cells. So this circle will contain the sum of those three. This circle will contain the sum of those four. This circle will contain the sum of those four. And moving forward, that's what all of those will be. So that's the case for all five circles. Then you've got the sum dots, which are these brown diamonds with the digits in between. They're called sum dots because anything that is separated two cells is often called a dot. It's just the way constraints are often called. And what they indicate is the sum of those two cells will be 6. The sum of those two cells will be 8. Now, this is very reminiscent of killer cages, but killer cages tend not to overlap, whereas this is basically just a domino constraint that indicates that those two cells will have that total. And it's done this way, so it's rather than just a circle with a number in it, which would make it be a difference of 10, and that's not what we're playing with here. So hopefully this will become quite recognized because I've got some ideas with what I can do with that. So I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart the timer. Let's give this a shot. Of course, if you want to give it a shot, try the link below because this should be fun. So, where do we want to start? I'm going to start with this 16 because using my normal killer logic, 16 would have to be 9 and 7 because if I was to do 8 and 8, I would have a problem. Now I've got to look at 14. If I was to use 6, 8 would be fine because I don't have 7 and 9, so 6, 8 would be maximum. If this was 8 with 10, it would be 2. If it was 6 with 10, 6 to 10, it would be 4. So this is 2 or 4. This is a 4, so it is 1 and 3 because they see each other. And so 1, 3, these are 2, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, these are 2, 4, and 5. So that's something. Now, 8 here can't be 1, 7. It could be 2, 6. It can't be 3, 5. So this is 2, 6. So there's no 6 here. No 2 here. 12 cannot be 9, 3. It can be 8, 4. It can be 7, 5. So that's not as useful. 10 there, 10 there, 10 there, and 10 there. We know the entire row sums to 45 because that's basic Sudoku. So that right there is a 5. So this 6 now can't be 1, 5. So it's 2, 4. Which means this 8 is probably restricted. I can use 1, 7. I can't use 2, 6. I can't use 3, 4. So this is 1, 7. 9 has to go in one of those two, which means 9 is in one of those two. Now, this 5, it could be 1, 4, or 2, 3. Actually, this 14. This 14 is the same as this, surely. Because, yeah, I should have looked here as well as here. These have to be the same. Because 14, I can't use 9, 5. I can use 6, 8, and 7, 7 is not possible. So this is 6, 8, which means I take 8, 4 out of there. This becomes 5, 7. This becomes 4. This becomes 2. This becomes 8. This becomes 6. This is not 2 or 4. This is 5. This is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 8 and 9. This 5, 7 means this is 1 and this is 7. This 6, 8 means this is 2 and this is 6. This is a triple, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 9, but I can't put 9 there, and this is 1 or 2, depending on whether that is 3 or 4. But these are all 1, 2, 3, 4 in here. So what are these? 3, 4. I've got to put 5 in there as well. So is that now limited? Not really. But this is a triple, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3, 6, and 9. Now this cell right here is summing up all of those 4 cells. So if that was a 3, those would have to sum to 3. That's not possible. Now if this was a 6, these 4 would have to sum to 6, but the minimum I can put in those is 5, and the minimum I can put in is 3. So this is not a 6, this is a 9, which takes 9 out of there. Now these have to sum to 9. Now if this is 6, 2, that's already 8, and that doesn't work. So that's the 3, that's the 6. Now these now have to sum to 6, and 4, 1, 1 is not possible. This is 2, this is 4, and these are 1 and 3. And that gives me the 5 plus 4 equals 9. Now 1 and 3 means to get to 8, this is either 5 or 7, and it can't be 5. So this is 7 and 1. And that means this is 3, which means this is 4 in order to get to the 7. And that 9 clue is now done. Now that means there's no 3 or 4 there. That is the 9. That is not the 9. These are 3, 4, and 5. And these are also known. These are 1, 2, 8, and 9. But there's no 1 in there. There's no 2 or 9 there, so that's 1, 8, so that is 2, 9. So that is either 1 or 8 here to make the 10, and this one is either 2 or 9. So that is a 1, 2, 8, 9 quadruple, which is kind of cool. Oh, that 3, 4 is looking down, making that 5. There's no 5 there. So this is a known pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, no, it's not 2, because 2 is right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are 6 and 7. 6 and 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8 go into there. Now, this cell right here, this can't be an 8. there is no way this can be an 8 because this cell sums all of those. And if that was an 8 and this is a maximum of 9, all of those three would have to sum to a 1. So that is a 1. So that is a 9. That makes that a 2. These cells will vary, but I've got the same problem here. These 4 cells here are going to sum to that. So if this was a 9, those 3 cells would have, that would also be a 9, and those would sum to 0, and there's so much fundamentally wrong with that that it's not even worth mentioning. If that is an 8, with a 2, that would be a 10, and those would be zeros, another fundamental problem. So now these are 3. These have to be a minimum of, so 3 plus minimum there would be 4. So this is 7, 8, or 9. And 3 here, minimum here is another 5. So this is 8 or 9. Huh. I mean, if I don't include a 1 in those two, this is 2, 3, 4, and I've broken the total. So there is a 1 in one of those two, and it has to be there. So, and then this is 4. And this is either 3, 4, or 5 to get to 7, 8, and 9. Now, if I don't include a 2 in here, then this is 3, 4, which is 7, 8, 9, 10. That doesn't work. So there is a 2 in here, and it has to be there. So this is 5, and then I have to include 3 or 4 to get to 8 or 9. So there's no 1 or 2 here. This is a 3, 4 pair, so there's no 3, 4 here. So these are 3, 7, and 4, 6. I'm not sure. So 3, 7, and 4, 6. Three, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. Probably need to look at something else. So 1 is up here somewhere. It's definitely not in the circle. And 1 is up here somewhere and definitely not in the circle. 2 is in one of those 2 cells by Sudoku, but if it was in the circle, all of those would have to sum to 2, so that's not going to work. 2 is there. And if we think about this from an arrow perspective, the minimum I can put into there would have been 1, 2, 3, so this is 6, 7, 8, 9, but I can't put a 2 next to it anymore. So this can't be a 6 because I can't use 1, 2, 3. It can't be 7 because I can't use 1, 2, 4. It could be 1, 3, 5, and I can't do 2, 3, 4. So there must be a 1 next to it. So there is a 1 in one of those 2 cells. 2 now has to go up here, and it can't go on the circle. That is a 2, which means that's a 1 and that's a 2. Now, have I got all the 2's in the grid now? I think I do. So this is an 8, 9 pair. So to get to 8, this is 1, 3, 5. 1, 3, 5? 1, 3, 4. And to get to 9, it's 1, 3, 5. So it's 1, 3, 4 or 1, 3, 5. And I have to use a 3, because if I don't use a 3, I've got 1, 4, 5, and that doesn't work. So there is a 3 in here as well. If it's 1, 3, 4, I can't put a 4 there. So the 4 would be there. And if it's 1, 3, 5, I'm not sure. Now 1 is in one of those 2, and I can't put 1 in the circle. So that is a 1. So here I've got 1, 2. And what can that be? It can be 3, can't be 4, 5, it can be 6. So if it's 1, 2, 3, this is a 6. And if it's 1, 2, 6, this is a 9. So I can never put 7 up here. So the only place in this row for a 7 is there. So that's a 7, that's a 6. 1 can't be there because of that 1. Six in this column. Can't go down there, can't go in any of those cells, so it has to go in one of those. That is a 6, which means 6 has to go in one of those, which makes sense. It's either 1, 3, 6, 9 or 1, 2, 3, 6. Sorry, 1, 2, 6, 9 or 1, 2, 3, 6. So 6 has to be in one of those two. That makes sense, which puts 6 down here. 6 cannot be here, so 4 cannot be here. 6 is in one of those two. These are 5, 6, 8, and 9. I'm not sure what I'm missing there. Have I missed something with one of these dots? Yes, I have, right there. That is a 4. So that is a 3, and that is a 4. Keep making that a 6, and that a 9, and that an 8, which means this is 1, 3, 4, which means there's no 5 there. That is a 1, 3 pair. That is a 4. That 1, 3 pair, that's not the 1, that is the 3, that is the 1, that is a 5, that is an 8. Pay attention to the clues you are given. An important thing when you are learning anything. 5, 7, and 9. There is no 9 there. So, have I completed all of these yet? Not really. So this 6 goes down here making this 8 and this 6, which goes up making this 9. So 5 plus 4 is 9, which means there's no 4 in there. So 4, that is no longer an 8. That is a 7 or a 9. So the only place I can put 8 in the column is there. That is 8, that is 9. That 1 is looking down, making that 3 and that 1. There's no 3 there, so there is no 7 there. There is no 4 there, so there is no 6 there. Not yet. There's no 4 there, so there's no 6 there, which means this is the 6. This is the 3, 7 pair, so this is the 4, 6. That 3, 7 means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5 and 8 go in there. That 9 makes that 7, which makes this 5 and this 7. This is not 5 or 7. This is 9. This is not 9. This is 5, 7. So this is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 8, 9. And that 9 makes that 8 and that 9. So this has to be 3 and 5. So that is the 5. That is the 3, which I could have got by using the arrow. Well, not the arrow. What are they called? Neighbor sum. Learning constraints. This is a very good intro puzzle to teach you how the constraints work. Get the 7, 9 resolved from up there. This 4 is making that a 3. What am I missing now? This column. That is a 3. That is a 7. In fact, I can just probably work through this box. 3, 3. I have to put 3 up there. That is a 3. 4, 4. I have to put a 4 up there. That is a 4. 5, 5, 5. 7, 8, and then this becomes a 7, and this becomes a 5, and that does look as good as okay as it can tell because I had not been given a solution to the grid. I will confirm that that is a good solution before I release the video. So yes, that is Dots and Neighbors, which is an introductory to puzzle to neighbor sums. So these circles where all of the digits that are orthogonally adjacent to the circle must sum to the digit in the circle, and the sum dots, which are basically diamonds where the sums are given in the center. Very, very cool little puzzle. Really interesting constraints, and I can see a lot of cool stuff that could be done with puzzles that weren't designed to be introductory, where they're making them a little bit more challenging. I hope you found that puzzle interesting. I know I did, and I hope that we see a lot more with these constraints. And if you're a setter, play around with them. I'm sure you'll find some cool stuff. Thank you everyone for watching, and as always, good luck with your solving.